I'm here with Todd McFarlane.
Hey, how you doing?
Not bad.
Good.
Todd McFarlane, obviously known to a whole generation of comic book readers from his work on Spider-Man, Spawn, but also super well known for toy company that he's run for, what, 10, 15 years now?
You know, it's been 20 years now.
20
Yeah,
years.
it's been longer than I thought.
So what made you get into toys in the first place? I mean, you're somebody who obviously knew
Right.
about design from being an artist, but what made you launch into this area?
The simplest thing that got me in was we were doing comic books. So again, that's where I made my career, as you mentioned. And then I went from Spawn, or Spider-Man to Spawn. We started our own comic company, Image Comics, that was publishing Spawn. Spawn started growing, and it was the #1 bestseller there for a few years when it first came out. Well, you might imagine all these people from all these licensing firms came, and all they did was they looked at these generic charts and they said, "Hey, Spawn's bigger than Batman and Superman, so let's go and license it."
Sure.
And some of it didn't fit, doing pajamas and pillowcases and all that stuff. They hadn't done their homework.
The guys went to hell.
Yeah, right. That's what I tell them. They go, "Hey, you want to do color forms?" And I go, "He's from the pit of hell." And then they wouldn't come back the next day. But the one of the areas was toys, and I literally talked to all the big players. I mean, I had the conversation with all of them. They made their pitches, but I didn't quite get a sense that the public companies were going to take what I thought was like an oddball license and treat it any differently. What I thought that what needed to happen with Spawn was they were going to have to make sort of non-traditional toys and sell them in non-traditional places. And I didn't get a sense that they were going to do it. They were just going to put it next to the Disney and Teletubby stuff.
Right.
So at some point I just went, you know what? Why don't we just make the toys ourselves?
So you guys have just started doing Assassin's Creed stuff.
Right.
What was the conversation there like?
One of the things you're looking for, I mean, I'm a small company, so I can't compete directly with Hasbro and Mattel, right? Any big property, Spider-Man, Batman, they're going to back up the Brinks truck and they're going to cash whip them and I'm done. Where I've been very successful is going into quote unquote mature theme stuff. Given that this is a mature game, then there's limited people to do it. We've now built enough of a reputation that I can walk in there going, "Hey, if you're going to get somebody to do it and give you a franchise of all three of 4 games plus anything in the future, I think we're the guys that can do it because I think we can get it into more places than them. And oh, by the way, we've won a lot of awards for our detail and our exactness of getting the product out to the shelf, and next thing you know, you got a license and you're going on."
This seems like the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's kind of wacky and almost more kid-friendly than what you guys do.
Right, so let's just talk about this. I've been doing toys now for 20 years, and again, you're right, I don't do a lot of cute stuff. I have 3 kids, they're always bugging me, how come you don't do any cute stuff, especially my daughter. Only twice in 20 years have I ever looked at something and went, I think this is going to be big. Somebody showed me 30 seconds of Shrek at the very beginning when they were making that movie, and we got that license before anybody knew what it was. This is the other one. Now, the video games have been out for a while. Once it gets on TV, I think this thing's going to explode here. And what got me excited is that there's this irreverence to it, just like I saw in Shrek, where I think the boys are going to giggle their butts off on the fart and burp joke. The girls are going to love it because they're cute and they make these sort of goofy sounds. They don't talk. And the moms and the dads are going to go, that was like right up our alley, again, because they're doing stuff that's quote unquote adult humor. And just like Shrek was, right? And you're going to go, wow. And I think it's going to be big. And when I saw this, I go, I don't get too many opportunities to sort of get ahead of the big boys, Hasbro and Mattel. And I go, let's get into those shark-infested waters. I think this thing's going to be not only cute, but fun as all heck. Here, I mean, I'm making a prediction here. Okay. You're going to come by next year, and this thing's going to be giant.
All right, you heard it, Todd McFarlane, predicting the massive success of rabbits everywhere.
Right, and then especially when we put them in the assassin's outfit and the little Spawn outfit, right?
So we're going to see a Spawn rabbit?
Oh, absolutely. Right, we'll get there.
What's your favorite design in your range that's coming out so far, like for next year? What's the favorite design that you like? You go to bed and you think about, oh man, we nailed that one.
I don't look at the whole piece. I'm so anal, I'll sit there and go, wow. Look at the detail on the knapsack. I'm always dissecting the pieces, so when I look at stuff, I go, oh, that head likeness came out good. Oh, that weapon over on that other line came out good. Right. That pose came out good. The detail in the hair of somebody else. So I'm always gluing pieces together because for me, once I see one piece right, in one category, then I then tell my sculptors and I tell my factories, we did it once, so you can't tell me now it's not it's impossible, because I've seen it with my own eyes. So now the question is, why aren't we doing it all the time?
So you were a creative consultant on the 30th Studio stuff and Kingdoms of Amalur
Yeah,
stuff.
no, I was art director.
Yeah, you were art director.
Yeah, right.
So does that warn you off of working with video games again?
No. And again, I mean, we came out with Reckoning, which was the console game. The big one that
The MMO.
it's fresh. Yeah, that was the super sexy. I mean, that was the one that to me was going to raise the bar, right? And I'm hoping that, once all the dust settles, maybe somebody would be smart enough to come in there and pick up the pieces and then just take it to the finish line, because it's only 10 yards away from the goal line.
Wow.
And Kurt got it 90 yards, and if somebody wants to come and get it the other 10 yards, they're going to have a hell of a game on their hands. I mean, if I had the extra cash, I'd do it myself, because I mean, it's that cool. But does it ward me off in video games? No. I was just something that happened. The financials didn't work. Some people got some bad advice. It was stuff that was out of my control.
Sure.
Art-wise, I like collaborating. So video games are a great collaboration with a lot of people that have specific sort of skills. You got your animator, you got your designers, you got your background guys, you got your noise, you got your IT guys, and each one of them is almost like a specialized surgeon, and you put it all together. So I like the video game business.
So is the time right then to bring Spawn back to video games, to try and do another Spawn video game project?
The answer is yes, but I think it needs to be driven by something, not just because we can do it. I need to get the movie out, and then I need to come and backfill it with the TV show, preferably animate it, and then I think those two things, and then keep the movie franchise coming out like every 2 years, and then I think I can backfill, and there be a lot more meaning to things like video games and toys and T-shirts and all that other stuff.
Thank you very much, Todd.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Take care.
All right.